Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory be to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha, Kodash. And I want to say double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well. And Shalom to the hopeful elect out there listening and learning. And also feeding the flock, teaching in sincerity and truth, in the hopes that we may edify and feed the lambs of Yahweh Shai, especially in these last days. And pretty much what I wanted to do is, I wanted to touch on this video here that I came across, and it was put up 2 days ago. As you can see, it's from the page or the YouTube handle Anonymous Official. Alright, this just popped up on my my YouTube algorithm, if you will. Alright, and it's entitled Joe Rogan, where he's having a conversation with this individual that you can see in this charcoal gray suit, and this guy goes into some stuff, and as it's entitled Joe Rogan, people should be preparing. This is so serious, warning in brackets. So there's definitely serious times coming. And it was a spirit, because I was sitting here, just meditating on things. And as I saw this video originally, as you can see, the view count just went over 145,000. But at the time when I looked at the view count, it was at 144,000 and change, views, which 144,000 is spiritual, which we hope we're a part of, the 144,000. Tabernacle of David, the elect, that's what we hope that we're a part of. And then you got the rest of the 1/3, which is going to consist of the elect, all right, in Babylon the Great, which is going to be saved by Yahweh Shai. And then chariots, which the so-called white man calls UAPs or UFOs, unidentified aerial phenomena, UAP. Which they're having to even admit now that, they're having to do reports and do live streams and speak about it, conversate about the fact that these chariots, they are real and they're showing up and they can't hide it, man. And chariots are all through the scriptures. Whether you want to read in Zechariah, the 5th chapter, or if you want to read in Psalms 68 and 17, whether you want to read Revelation 1 and 7, behold, he cometh with clouds, Yahweh Shai. That's the he that scripture is talking about. He's going to invade this place with this so-called UFOs, with the armies of heaven. But that's another lesson for another time, which, if the Spirit wills, I'll touch on that even within this lesson. But I want to stick, to this video here that I'm going to play you a little segment of. People should be preparing. This is so serious. Now, you've been seeing the migration, of people coming in thousands, hundreds of thousands, crossing the Darien Gap, going and crossing the border to get into the US. And some people are asking questions, well, why is this being allowed to happen? Who's it been orchestrated by? And what you gotta understand is nothing is coincidence, and these elites, they have a plan, they have an agenda, NWO, New World Order agenda, and that's why before I even start this, I want to go into Ephesians 5 and 15, all right, which reads, and these are the words of the Apostle Paul. And it says, see then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. See, now this is in the scriptures we're reading this, telling you to redeem the time, because the days are evil. All right, for all you people that want to talk about, the good book and, God's all love and this and that and whatever, you don't seem to understand, right, that the Lord is about to introduce, a time period on the earth of pure pain and suffering. All right, and when I say pure pain and suffering, we're talking about the likes of trouble, the likes of which no one has ever seen since there was a nation, just like the scripture outlines in Daniel 12 and 1. And seeing as we're about to enter into that time, we should be asking the question, well, what do we need to do? All right. And the answer is clear. When you believe in the scriptures, the scriptures speak about not just being hearers of the word, but doers also. The scriptures speak about receiving with meekness. Let me get that scripture out. It's been a while since I got this one. I think, is it James 1:21? Yeah. It says, wherefore lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness, and receive with meekness the engrafted word, which is able to save your soul. So, how are we going to be saved? By receiving with meekness this word, the engrafted word. That's why the scripture says in Isaiah 33:6 that wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength for salvation. The only way we're being saved, right, is by Yahweh Shai coming to get us off this earth when all hell breaks loose. The only way we're being saved is if we're of the elect. And that's who Yahweh Shai is coming back to gather, his elect, which when you go into the word elect, in the Greek it's eklektos, which means chosen, handpicked. All right. So this word, if you're receiving it with meekness, you're not getting offended at it. You understand it. The Lord has, blessed you with the spiritual understanding of this word, and you don't lack the oil. You have, which the oil is the understanding. That's gonna keep us stable in these last days, man. The 5 wise virgins that took oil in their lamps. That's what we want to be likened unto, having the oil. You can't light a lamp without that oil, man. We need that oil. And this word is the light, so we need light, right, in these dark times. Okay. Verse 22, it says, be ye doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. For if any be a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is likened unto a man beholding his face in a glass. So if you be a hearer of the word and not a doer, man, you're fooling yourself. As the scripture says, for what if some shall not believe? Like the scripture says that they come unto me as the people cometh, they hear thy words, but they will do them not. Ezekiel 33 goes into that. So let's go back to this right here. And I want to play you from the 49th second onwards. And what you're about to hear is some, really horrific things that are about to start happening, right, in these, especially in these cities. Okay, now, like I said, you mentioned, or you've seen what's going on with this immigration or migrant crisis. You got people crossing through the Darien Gap, but you ain't just Venezuelans, Ecuadorians, Colombians, Panamanians. It ain't just, them that are traveling through the Darien Gap. You also got people from Iran, Yemen, and like me and the brother Yakanan, the beloved brother Yakanan, we did a video speaking about this immigration crisis, and you had that one immigrant that was threatening that journalist when he asked him, what are you doing here at the border? And then that immigrant turned around and said to him, it was in the news. He said, look, you don't know who I am, but soon you will know who I am. Soon you're going to know who I am. Now, off the back of this whole global support that's pouring into those Palestinians, right, in the direction of the Palestinians, the global support in response to the genocide that those Palestinians are going through, which a lot of them could be, a Jake as well. All right. But the point is, the scriptures speak about strangers devouring our land in our presence in Isaiah 1:7. See, that's what you got. That's biblical prophecy in itself. And you got these devils being exposed for the genocide that they're doing on a global stage, and the acts that they're committing, the acts of genocide that they're committing to those Palestinians over there. Now, in response to that, you got a lot of global support, especially from, the Muslims and so on and so forth, people that are into Islam and that and whatever. You got a lot of people that are, going into Ecuador, which the man's going to go into, all right, in this video. They're getting into Ecuador, all right, and then they're traveling into Colombia, they're traveling, and they're getting into the States via that route. All right, so it's coming to the point now where you don't know who's who. You got a lot of Chinese migrants, that are coming in as well. And, there's definitely big things about to happen. See, 2024 is the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble, man. All right. So let me not waffle on. Let me just, let me play you a little bit of this, and we can get some scriptures, to prove that this is all a part of biblical prophecy. All right. And when I say biblical prophecy, see, we're in a time where the vision is speaking. Let's get Habakkuk 2 and 3 first. It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Now the vision is what? These biblical prophecies, and we're at the end, and we're seeing that these prophecies are speaking. All right. That the Lord, a precept to go with this one is Isaiah 55 and 11. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void. Right? But it shall accomplish that which I please and prosper in the thing whereto I have sent it. So the Lord's word, we're seeing it prosper heavily in these last days. Check this video out.
There are other hypotheses that are darker. There is talk about the possibility of trading citizenship for military service. I think that's a very frightening prospect, but I didn't invent the idea. It has been discussed, and the problem is that to the extent that we saw things like the vaccine mandate drive out the skeptics from the military, this process would also bring in a lot of people into military service who would have more reason to follow immoral orders than a citizen soldier who had been American their whole life. In other words, if the power structure is granting you citizenship which you want in exchange for your obedience.
You hear that? You hear that? Okay, and it is citizenship in exchange for military service, man. And Elder Apostle Tahar, I've been watching his videos. He's been saying, there's reasons why they're letting these immigrants in. All right, they want them to join the military. They want them for cheap labor, and they want them for the votes, and so on and so forth. So this is all being planned, And you got the Governor Greg Abbott over there, the National Guard, and putting up these razor wire fences, and this pretty much this dog and pony show that you're witnessing, but it's all being orchestrated behind the scenes. Okay, the states that are being divided, which that's all a part of biblical prophecy. The scriptures speak about no kingdom divided shall be able to stand. And it's just split literally down the middle. You got the Republicans coming up against the Democrats. And that's pretty much Isaiah the 19th chapter. All right. But listen to what this individual was saying as he was telling Joe Rogan. Look, man, there's another hypothesis. Look, imagine, the Americans, pretty much exchanging, or giving people citizenship in exchange for military service. And these are the people that have just come through the Darien Gap. These are people that are desperate to be, to be a citizen. These are people that are, they've left countries that are economically fucked. I mean, look at Venezuela. Venezuela, people were digging up graves for, taking the gold in people's graves. Gold out of their teeth and, all kinds of stuff, And I remember when, Trump was in office, he was over there. I think, was he throwing tissues to people? He was throwing tissues out there to people in Venezuela and so on and so forth. Big toilet rolls and that. Just, it was just a big mess. And Venezuelans are desperate. So, in exchange for military service, they're going to take that up. And they're seeing how the tension between how they're being treated. Because right now, you can walk through the streets in New York. And it's been done. People have been filming this. You can go through the streets in New York. On one side of the street, you can see people getting bare, ordering pizza, buying burgers, and living their life. And then across the road, literally across the road, you see people queuing up trying to get into hotels and shit. These immigrants that just walking around with heavy bags. Some of them got women, children with them. But most of these men that are coming in through the borders are military fighting aged men. Young men that are ready to go into that military, man. All right, so we can't be ignorant, we can't be ignorant to Satan's devices, man. Let's get 2 Corinthians 2 and 11. All right, now ultimately, this is the Lord pulling all these strings behind the scenes, man. The scripture says man's goings are of the Lord. How then shall a man understand his own way? Okay, but we can't be ignorant of what Esau is planning, behind the scenes. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. So we're not supposed to be ignorant of the devices of Satan, okay? Which the physical counterpart of Satan is Esau. All right, Satan means adversary. And what do Esau worship Satan? Okay. So, come on, man, you're doing a bidding of Satan. So pretty much what you got to understand is that, you know, all the division that you're seeing, all this confusion, all right, which all the confusion and the division, that's all been orchestrated by the power that we serve and worship. And he's using Esau to do it. All right, there's something called auto ab chaos. You see, Esau wants chaos out there in them streets so he can come forth with more draconian measures, martial law. All right, and them troops that are going to be kicking down them doors, you best believe they're going to be them paid mercenaries, man. They're going to be them foreign soldiers that don't have no allegiance to America. And look at how they're being treated on the streets of America. Okay, getting kicked out of this place, just, you know, sitting around in parks and that, and watching these Americans and how soft they are, you know, watching them just walk and talk shit about these immigrants when they're given the power to shoot you guys on sight in America, in Babylon the Great. They're going to do it and they ain't going to fucking think twice. Okay? Because look at how you've been treating them, and you've been, you know, you've been looking down on them. And you can see all hell about to break loose out here. This is Revelation 12:12. Therefore rejoice ye, like that immigrant said at the border when he got asked by that journalist, what are you doing here? He go, look, you don't know who I am, but soon you're gonna know who I am. And like I said, you got a lot of these terrorists that are coming across them borders too. So you're gonna see a lot of false flag attacks. You're gonna see a lot of things happening. Okay, you're gonna see a lot of people, you know, committing acts of violence. Like I said, in support of them Palestinians and the genocide that's going on over there. You're gonna see a lot of confusion. People ain't gonna know where to look. They ain't gonna know where to run, where to hide. There's gonna be so much chaos out here. It's gonna be crazy. And the Lord is doing this. All right. The scriptures tell you that shall there be a trumpet? Shall a trumpet be blown in the city and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city and the Lord have not done it? That's Amos 3:6. All right. Now you might say, oh, that's just conspiracy theories. How do you? Well, look, man. When it all happens, all we can see is these labor pains, man, afflicting Babylon the Great. All we can see are these plagues. All we can see is the downfall, the division in Babylon the Great, and no kingdom that's divided shall be able to stand. We're seeing the signs play out before our very eyes, man. All right, you mean to tell me that these immigrants that have had to cross the Darien Gap, had to, you know, escape the mafia, carnivorous beasts in the jungle, they've had to travel for fucking thousands of miles to get to America? You mean to tell me that they ain't willing to exchange military service for citizenship? All right, and open up a can of whoop ass on them American citizens? Of course. All right, they done thinned out the herd military service because of people that didn't want to take the VAX. All right, so things, you know, plans are coming into motion, and not only that, man. In exchange for military service, Esau's going to be rolling out that chip. That's one of the main prophecies we're waiting for, the MOTB. All right, so a lot of these people are going to be getting shipped too that are in the military service, if not all of them. Okay, Revelation 12:12. Therefore rejoice ye. See, remember the scripture speak about a gift destroyeth the heart, man. You know, in exchange for citizenship, you know, military service, but you got to do this, but you got to do that. You know. Back in the time of the Greeks, it was, you know, pushed upon our people that we should eat swine's flesh. All right, so that swine's flesh in the modern day would represent what? Taking that chip, declaring your allegiance, receiving your badge of servitude to the devil, and doing his bidding, man. You know, Revelation 12:12. Therefore rejoice ye heavens and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. All right, so Esau knows that he has but a short time, so he's speeding things up. That's why them draconian measures are coming into play. Okay, look at the government cuts that they're starting to do. Okay, what was it? I did a video, I spoke about it yesterday. With the food stamps, they're cutting them food stamps. You know, it's going to be illegal for people in groups or two or more people. If the cops suspect you of, being able, committing a crime. And if you're in a group of two plus people, you can be arrested or fined. Granting the cops the powers to be able to kill people in a car chase. So these unrighteous decrees, man. Esau's turning up the heat. Esau is turning up the heat, man. Okay. All right, because I have it here in one of the tabs. All right. Bowser in DC. This is from the Washington Post. Spar over proposed budget cuts. And this was in 24th of March 2023. So all these budget cuts, man. All right, in DC. Okay. They're going to be doing these budget cuts. And who do they have at the helm of it? The so-called black woman. The demon, man. Right? Muriel Bowser, mayor. Government of the District of Columbia. Let me see. Bowser proposes to cuts to affordable housing, rental aid, but more money for conversion incentive. So all these budget cuts that they're looking to do, which I did a video on this yesterday, man. All these budget cuts on the food stamps, that's gonna have people going crazy. More policing powers and so on and so forth. Things are gonna get real bad out here, man. And then to top it off, you got the immigrant crisis. You got, come on, man, exchanging, for military citizenship for a military service. You can easily see that happening over there in Babylon the Great. All right, let's play a bit more of this video.
Which you want in exchange for your obedience, then what is it that would cause you to say no? So if you wanted a force that was capable of acting on behalf of tyranny against Americans, then a force that doesn't have a deep history with the rights of being an American, that doesn't have a long-standing allegiance to people within the country, that force would be potentially more compliant.
More compliant, and it will be the perfect force to use, because they ain't going to have no allegiance to America or the people on the soils of America. They're just going to be putting people to death. They're going to be grabbing women up, raping women. They ain't going to be gentle either, man. These are people, man, come on, man. You're dealing with people that have fled horrific conditions. And you're coming over to America, seeing the fast cars, the lights, the people in soft clothing. You're seeing the soft, effeminate males. All right, they're seeing these women, walking around the street, up and down the street, scantily clad. And them immigrants, they be committing acts of crime over there. They be busting guns over there. A lot of people are saying that there's mob bosses over there that have crossed the border and so on and so forth. There's like organized crime that's happening amongst them immigrants. And what are they doing? They're putting them in these plush hotels. They're giving them free money. All right, and it's all for a reason. This ain't no coincidence. Like that immigrant said, you will know who I am. And if they do, and they do become very compliant for exchange for citizenship to join the military, they will be very compliant, and they will be doing the bidding of Esau. And that's all a part of biblical prophecy, because I have what comes to mind is 2 Ezra 16 and 70. It says, for there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like madmen, and we are the ones that fear the Lord. All right, the Israelites. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. So they're going to be possessed with the spirit of madness, death. All right, like the scriptures speak about, the dead shall be cast out as dung. They're going to be like madmen, sparing none, right? Okay, just grabbing people up, having their way with what, men, women, children. Women just going to be getting captured, getting trains ran on them. You know what I'm saying? So there's something, a lot of you women, man, you proud ass women, you're going to feel the heat when that time comes. All right? Because you're proud, you got that feminist, that feminism spirit. You've been indoctrinated with that feminism spirit. You're in that Beyonce spirit, who run the world type spirit. All my single ladies type of spirit. Well, we're going to see how good it is, how good it's going to be for you to be single in that day when you ain't got a man to defend you, especially a man of the Lord. That's why the scripture says 7 women shall take hold of one man. What kind of man? All right, the real high value men. Because you know Kevin Samuel talking about high value men. The real high value men are the men in this truth that understand, that can break down these scriptures, that the Lord has given, blessed them with the understanding, that has given them the gift of faith, that are showing their faith by their works. See, we're doing this because we understand we have enough fear for Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, Lord willing, to know that the Lord is going to jack us up if we don't do what he told us to do. All right? Because the Lord ain't playing no games, man. And the Lord is very strict, is very harsh. You know, and when he's very particular in how he wants things. Shit, the Lord put that individual to death. What was his name? Uzzah. You know, because when the Ark of the Covenant shook, he just went to go and, you know, he went to touch it. But because he did that and he wasn't supposed to do that, the Lord put him to death. You know, that wasn't his job. All right. Or you had Eli. You know, Eli and his sons. His sons were just sleeping with the women, you know, at the temple and that and whatever. You can read that in the book. I was reading the book of Samuel earlier. You had Eli's sons, you know, and the Lord told Eli, "Look, man, I'm gonna jack up your bloodline because you chose to protect your sons rather than, you know, doing what was right. Rather than, you know, you chose to defend them. You know." So, you know, the Lord is very, very particular, man. I think that's in the first Samuel's, around about the 3rd or 4th chapter. You can go into all of that. And then the Lord rose up the prophet Samuel. You know? So the Lord is very, very, very particular in how he does things. Indeed. All right? It says, "For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. So people are going to be getting dragged out of their homes. All right, by this compliant military that's going to be doing the bidding of Esau, Edom. Okay. It says, "Then shall they be known who are my chosen, the elect, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire." So we're going to get tried, man, like gold in the fire. And that fire is a cleansing agent or a purifying agent, and it's set up to cleanse us, man. And that fire is going to expose who are of the chosen and who ain't. All right. It says, Hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord. Behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. Yeah, especially when Esau pushes out that mark of the beast and he sets up them chipping stations. And, you know, that's when the fire is really going to get turned up. When you find out that you ain't going to be able to buy or sell unless you have the chip. You got guys out there still ain't, you know, certain leaders of these congregations ain't teaching them the right thing. And what are they going to do when their congregation pulls them up on it and says, "Look, you taught us lies. You didn't tell us that this was the mark of the beast. Now look, they've gone and done it. Now they're telling us that we can't buy or sell. What we're supposed to do?" You're going to have to answer your congregation. And the lies that you were telling them, you didn't prepare them for the truth. You didn't tell them, you know, what we see. But the apostles and the elders, they've been telling us the right. They've never deviated from what the mark of the beast is. They told us straight up. And now you got Elon Musk, you know, all up in the news, talking about, you know, this patient, which they've been doing human trials, but now they're coming out in the open, full-fledged, and they're telling you, look, we got this guy he's able to move, you know, move a mouse, you know, on a computer screen just by thinking it. He's in good stages of recovery, and that's the miracles on the left-hand side. The scriptures speak about that, because Esau declares, you know, he fancies himself as a god, but the Lord's going to show him that he's not the Most High and he's just a man. So you see, this is the reason why they're going to be like madmen sparing none, because they're going to be chipping people. They're going to be grabbing people up, taking them to the concentration camps. Yeah, but the Lord said, "Then shall it be known who are my chosen." All right. So this is good. The heat is definitely turning up, and we got to be privy. We got to be clued up to what's going on. Let's keep going in this.
So, if you imagine, in my naive state a few years ago, the idea was, well, you have a very well-armed populace. You have a military that's likely to be divided about immoral orders.
You hear that? A military that's likely to be divided about immoral orders. What are these immoral orders? Pretty much putting to death these American citizens. You know? And some people in the military that are American citizens that are already a part of the military, they're not going to, you know, some of them are going to, I ain't feeling that. You know, but then you're gonna have these other guys that they ain't got no allegiance to America, okay? And they want to see people in America bleed. And they don't have no problem doing that. They just cross a Darien Gap. Shit, you know, some of them are gonna be in support of them Palestinians. You know, they're going to want to see America bleed. Why? Because America has been the aid of them small hats over there in the land of Israel. All right, like the immigrant said, soon you will know who I am. So this is what, hey man, things are going to get really heated out here. And we ain't just talking, just to talk. We're actually telling you this is a part of biblical prophecy, man. The Lord said that there was going to be, nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. The Lord told us to watch out for these things. All right, World War III. What about that? The tension over there in the so-called Middle East. The weak, let the weak say I am strong. The weak, we're in a time now where the weak is saying that they're strong, man. Tensions, wars, rumors of wars, North Korea, South Korea, China, Taiwan, the Ukraine war with Russia, the BRICS nations, okay, doing away with the dollar, all of this stuff that's happening, man. Okay, you got Azerbaijan and Armenia, all kinds of stuff, full-scale war, looking to take place over there. So wars and rumors of wars, earthquakes in diverse places. We are at the time of the end. And this year, man, the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble, man. Let's get Jeremiah 30 and Jeremiah 30 and I think it's from verse 5. You can get it from there. It says, "For thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace." All right, we're not in the time of peace, man. In case you ain't turning on the news and see what's going on, in the world, we're in a time of war. We ain't in a time of peace. And how can you be in a time of peace when the earth has been given into the hand of the wicked? The job of Esau, Edom, is to take peace from the earth. Read Revelation 6 and 4. Scriptures speak about that red horse. And Edom in the Hebrew goes back to red. It's Adawam in the Hebrew. Means red. All right, and a horse represents power. So Esau's power structure, he's set up to take peace from the earth. It says, "Ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. Alas, for that day is great." So these men are going to be like women, man. Okay, and if the men are going to be like women, then what about these proud ass, all my single ladies type bitches? Like these women that fucking, they do anything for attention, all up on the gram. As I said, one big Shirley, she was talking about, look, man, because one guy was asking a bunch of black women, who do you think you have a better time with, your side man or your main dude? And these women are straight up coming out and declaring, look, side man, he's more fun. And then one woman at the end, she answered the question. She goes, the side man, because look, man, when I meet up with my side guy, what did he say? He's gonna blow my motherfucking back. That's what she said. So these women are fucking proud, man. A lot of these women out here, they've had multiple men. They're fucked up. They got demons on them. Okay, they're all out of shape, but they're going like their shit don't stink. These women are fucking proud, man. And the Lord is going to really open up a can of whoop ass on, especially on these women. So if the men are going to be like women, right, in childbirth, like screaming, hollering, then what are these women going to be like, man? It says, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. And that goes for all these fucking women. That's a warning to all you women out there. Any of these women that ain't trying to do right, they don't want to shut the fuck up. You want to be proud. You want to usurp authority over men. You want to get your voice heard and that and whatever. You ain't trying to fall in line. Man, you women you better be careful what you say. Scripture says, every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment. And that goes for my woman too. I got a woman. Shit, man. Hey, if the Lord don't have mercy on her, he don't have mercy on her. Now, hey, she with me right now. Hey, can an unbelieving woman be saved? Yeah, of course. Hey, the mercy of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, that's up to the Lord ultimately. Now, I hope she does, but guess what, man? I don't know, what the Lord, man, shit. I'm just trying, the scripture says, seek your own salvation. Now the Lord, he's shown her visions and she's told me certain things. And man, I'm like, damn, that lines up with the scriptures perfectly. I've done videos on it a couple of times and that and whatever. It's edifying, it's faith boosting. But you got a lot of these women out here that they're just going to be getting put to death. Because, The Lord, man, but first and furthermore, we don't need the so-called black woman, bro. We can bring that, the nation can get brought back. Because remember, man, we got the crown jewels, baby. You know? And they declared their pedigrees by the houses of their fathers, man. Hey, the Numbers 1 and 18. The men have the crown jewels, man. The men got the seed. So we can take a Moabite woman, a Elamite woman, we can bust nut in them, and the nation of Israel will come back through them. You know, from us shooting our seed into them. See, a lot of these women, man, they're proud. They don't seem to realize that, bro, we ain't dealing with no Beyonce, Nicki Minaj, Cardi B's, man. We ain't on that. You know? The best thing these women out here can do, man, is just, just shut the fuck up and try and get yourself, and if you, to learn anything, ask your husband at home, and that's that. You know, stay in your lane. Okay, verse 7, it says, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. So look, man, the time of Jacob's trouble is coming. It's upon us. All right? And shit is about to fucking, hey, man. Hey, Brakata Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai for allowing us to witness the downfall of Babylon. Babylon the Great. You know, the downfall of Esau's kingdom. Because Esau is the end of the world, man. Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So this man's kingdom, it's over, man. It's done. All right? They shall be like madmen sparing none. This whole thing, we got to watch what's going on, man. Be circumspect. All right? To the next time, I hope you were edified. Shalom to the elect.